Virgos. Let me see. We can be collective, I think, with the Virgo when men and women. Excuse me. I think it's kind of very collective on this. Um, I think Virgos are going to um they're going to be courted. I think that they're going to meet people that's going to court them, and I feel like the Virgos gonna say, "I feel special." What? I don't have to do anything? What? I don't have to pay for the bill? Wait a minute, this is odd. So I think there's gonna be
Yep.
a lot of surprise in the fact of being courted for both men and women in a sense. So
Yep.
men are used to picking up the bill are gonna find an independent woman. Women who are used to kind of being the caretaker are gonna find this very sensitive man. So I think that the Virgo is gonna find that really sense of I'm nurtured now. I'm being nurtured. I can relax. So good summer of time for Virgos in the sense of summer of love, because go on that beach and relax. So that's a wonderful thing. So those who are in relationships are going to feel heard. I feel like they're going to feel like everything they've been saying for a long time has been digested. I feel like a lot of great shifts in the relationships that they might be in to where they are feeling heard. That the amount of time they've invested is actually now rendering for them. They're seeing that grow for them. So I think in their relationships, they're going to say, finally, my hard work's been paying off. This cancer finally woke up, so I think there's gonna be a lot of that great realization for them of where they can just sit back and relax now. And those who are not looking for a relationship or in a relationship, I really find a lot of meditation with Virgos in the summertime. So any type of spiritual awakening or spiritual calling will be manifested or realized, if not already. So I feel like an inner purpose, an inner sensitivity that brings that abundant energy and the energy of relax and calm is going to be manifest for them. So some light workers who maybe want to be light workers who are Virgos will decide to do that in the summertime. Many might even take
Mm.
trips to Sedona and go on a spiritual retreat. So a big spiritual awakening for Virgos too, in that sense. I would say collectively on the board when it comes to Virgos in the summertime.
I agree completely with what you're saying. For one, I think first of all, Saturn's in their seventh house. So one thing I'm really going to happily tell you, all you Virgos, is you were wrong. You were totally wrong. You're not going to end up an old maid. You're not going to be alone. People don't
Right,
hate you. You're not too
right,
fat. You're totally wrong.
right,
And I get pleasure out of telling you that you're wrong. I
right,
think I think they're going to be a holy shift. They're going to realize, like, I didn't realize there were romantic men out there. I think for the Virgo men, I didn't realize a woman like that would love me. So
right.
I think you're absolutely right. I do think it'll be a slow burn. The North Node in Aries is pushing them towards intimacy. I think
Mm,
Virgos have always either seen themselves as too flawed or
right,
their partners as too flawed,
right,
and that's been a barrier to them really being close.
right,
They think they're close, but that's think. That's
right,
not actual emotional
right,
connection. So I think that the uncomfortable part for Virgos is they're going to get closer to people than they've ever been before. And although they've said they've always wanted that, be careful what you ask for. It's going
right,
to be a whole new, self. I can just see them telling me, "I can't believe it. I can't believe it." I think that's part of it. Jupiter and Gemini does say it's time for their career.
yeah,
So I think what's going to be a healthy distraction, because the love's going to be so intense that it's what they've been looking for their whole life,
right,
and they can't believe it. They can't
right,
believe it's real because it goes against all their prejudice.
right,
I think that their break from that's going to be their career.
right,
So your idea that light workers will be coming out, I agree. I think a lot of
yeah,
Virgos are finally realizing that they have what it takes. They're finally, rounding up and is giving themselves half full instead of half empty. I think
right,
that's a big shift that's going to happen as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
And they're ready, and I think they believe in themselves now too with where
yeah,
things are. They're learning. One of the things that was blocking Virgo was they were so detailed about what love was.
right,
They really need to put a blindfold on and feel their
right,
ways through it
right,
and stop trying to analyze it, because you're not
right,
going to do God's job. You're not
right,
going to you're not going to pick out all the features of the Ken doll is going to
right,
be.
right,
It's going to surprise you what you fall in love with,
right,
but then your brilliance will like figure out like, oh, this fits like a glove.
right.
So
Well, God
I think,
doesn't think, God bees. God's a feeling, so God doesn't think. So it's not a God quality to think, right?
yeah, no, exactly. And they tend to overthink. I will say, stay away from the Geminis.
Yes, yes.
Virgos and Geminis are like crazy, codependent, weird, cannot get unglued, especially Gemini men. I would say women, if you fall in love with the Gemini man, be careful. I'm
You
just
just
going to say it.
described a relationship with myself. I'm Aquarius, Virgo rising, and Gemini moon. So you just
Oh, there
described
you
my.
go.
I hate myself, hate myself, love myself.
Here you go, ladies and gentlemen, right here.
Aren't I hot? But fuck, I'm ugly. It's like this weird, huh?
Well, Virgo and Gemini's, I always say to Virgo, like I always when a Virgo comes in, she's like, I've got this man, I can't get over him. He comes to me back, I'm like, hold on, Gemini?
Right,
And they're like, yes, how'd you know? Because
right.
every Virgo has one of those Geminis in their
Exactly.
pocketbook.
Right,
Particularly, it's
right.
mostly Virgo women with Gemini men. That's all I've noticed. I haven't noticed a
True.
reverse on that one,
True. No, I
actually.
agree with you because Gemini men are have an airy approach. That they're very like, I say the drifter energies what Gemini men kind of
Yeah,
give me, you know what I'm saying? So I think Virgos want a piece of that. Like I just want to not care. I just want to just drift off somewhere. So there's an attraction to that opposite. And I think,
yeah,
if they're conscious enough to want to learn from that, it can actually be successful if they're of course elevated enough to want to learn from that and to evolve in that space. It could balance them out, but they have to be very conscious and spiritually attuned to that type of evolution for it to work, though. And
yeah.
so, chances are, your average Joe that working, no, not at all.
I know that, yeah, Virgo women want to be listened to, and Gemini men will listen.
Right?
But Virgo women
No,
want Gemini
they'll
men to be.
hear. They're here. They won't listen. They'll hear
You're
you.
right. And they don't come to the same profound conclusions. They switch
Right.
topics. So Virgos find themselves channel surfing in that
Right.
relationship all the time because the Gemini
100%.
just can't keep a signal. Yeah.
It's serious, Joe.